Evening. This is the night before we go fishing. Fishing down at Sam's tomorrow. So I just thought I'd go through with you very quickly the bait I'm going to be using tomorrow, because a little bit of preparation's gone into to the bait. So this is basically the stuff I'm going to be using tomorrow. Okay. Start off with the particles. I do like to use particles down at Sam's. I always find that they hold the fish quite well in the swims, get them grubbing about. This is chickpeas. These are chickpeas. Now these have been prepared properly. They've been soaked for 24 hours, boiled for 20 minutes. And what I've done is I've added some liquid worm, which is red in colour, and it gives them a bit of a washed out look. This was done this morning, so this was done a good 8 or 9 hours ago. So yeah, they're looking good. They don't, not a great deal of smell to them, but I suppose it's what it appeals to the carp in the water. Our smell is nothing like their smell, so they'll probably home in on those, hopefully. The other one is birdseed. Now this is just standard birdseed. Again, soaked for 24 hours, boiled for 20 minutes. Now this has been soaked in CSL liquid, so it's got a very yeasty smell. That, can you smell that? It's got a very yeasty smell to it. I'd say it was a bit like Marmite, but it's not really. So hopefully that'll get them grubbing about. Boilies. I've been using Decathlon boilies actually. Been having a bit of success on them. Monster crab. I've been using them in 14 mils and 20 mils. These ones are the garlic 20 mils. I couldn't get them in 14, so I've been using them in 20 mils, but to good success. The better fish have been taking the bigger bait, so been using them. This is Decathlon's own stick mix. This is the garlic stick mix, which I've been using. Again, it's not been bad. I haven't had great success on it. I've only used it a couple of times. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, that's quite potent. When you stick your nose in there and smell it, it's quite potent. So that's that. And then this one I made myself, which is to complement the monster crab foilies. Now I made this with it's like a krill powder that you can buy, and it's got all sorts of bits and pieces that I just basically chucked in. And again, it's not been bad. I mean, you know, it's quite easy to make your own stick mix. So with pellets, powdered milk, anything that's going to create some sort of, you know, some sort of cloud on the bottom. So that one's quite good. And then finally, just some glugged up boilies. They're the monster crabs. They're the 14s and the 20s, and they've been glugged up in the actual monster crab glug. So they've been, I've not long done them. They've been done about half an hour, so they've already absorbed some of the glug, so they'll get left. I find if you put too much glug in, they go a bit soft. So I'm not going to over glug them. So they'll do it, they'll be fine. So that's about the bait. That's about the bait for tomorrow. So hopefully get down there nice and early, get the chosen swim, and we'll see you down there. Morning. It's 5:15 and we're going fishing. Yes, it's a lovely day. It is a lovely day. It's going to be a hot one today, but I've got the family with me today. So I've got the wife and I've got my boy Toby. So we're all going down to Sam's and we'll try and get some fish. Right, We are finally fishing. It's blooming 9:15. Terrible traffic. Time to set everything up. But we are fishing. I'm currently walking back to the car to get a fleece, just in case the wife gets cold legs. And once we've got that, shouldn't need to come back for the car for anything. It's a beautiful day down here. There's a few guys fishing, all bivvied up. But let's get that fleece and get back to the rods. Well, we're here, we're fishing. We set up swim 21 on the bottom lake. I wouldn't say it's perfect conditions, it's probably a bit too on the hot side really, but if you're surface fishing it's perfect. But we're bottom fishing today, so we'll have to see what happens. Right hand rod is just to the far side of the pads. That's on birdseed, and I've got a garlic bottom boilie on that, and left hand rod is sort of mid-channel, not as far as the islands, and that is on monster crab and with chickpeas around it, so I know a 4-bait stringer. So we'll see how that goes today. It's 9:20, half the day's gone. And we'll see what develops. Just had an up and down line bite on the pad rod. But to be honest, I think that's all it was, just a line bite. I mean, there's plenty of again. I think that was just a line bite. I mean, when they run down here, they run. So I don't know if you can pick that up on the GoPro. The fish just up on the surface there, coming towards us. It's gone down. If there's line bites, there's fish in the area. So. I'm just going to have a rebait up. Stick a fresh boilie on. I'm going to put a 4-bait stringer on this one. Using the German rig. Ever since I've gone over to this rig, I've had good success with it. Nailed every fish in the bottom lip, which is what it's designed to do. wasn't supposed to happen. Obviously this little thing got tired of life and decided to hang itself. Hopefully he'll survive. But obviously, looking at the state of the boilie, they've been pecking at it and whittling it down. So that's what you get. That's what you get. You see, when you mess with carp anglers, this is what happens. Go, swam off. Fine. Just had a recast on both rods, freshened up the baits. The right hand rod in the pads, that's still the same. I've added a free bait stringer to that just for added attraction really, and then baited up again with birdseed and CSL glug. And the left hand rod I've put back out again, but this time I've, instead of just putting on a monster crab boilie, I've put on the boilie plus I've tipped it with a bit of fake sweet corn. So you know, just for a visual thing really, because there's a hell of a lot of fish up here on the surface, but none of them seem to be taking anything. I mean, I've seen one person catch a fish so far, guy to the left of me, small carp, small common, but I don't know how he caught it, whether he caught it off the top or on a bottom bait. So just a case of playing the waiting game really, and trying something a bit different, try and find something they like. Okay, this clip looks a bit dramatic with the bend in the rod, but I am only using £1.25 test curve rods, so they're a very soft action rod, so a lot of the fish that you catch always looks like it's hooping over, but they're quite a soft rod. But this one has taken me straight under the pads. It was a screaming run, which unfortunately was not caught on film, but it's taken me straight under the pads, and I think it took me under that first set and onto the second set. So I decided to give it some slack line. You give them some slack line and sometimes they swim out of their own accord. They think they're free, so they swim out. But on this occasion it didn't swim out. So I gave it a little while, and then I decided to give it a little bit more, and then even walk up to the next swim and try from a different angle. Come on, Colin, make your mind up. What are you going to do?
Yes. Okay.
If you've got the luxury of an empty swim next to where you're fishing, it's always best to try from a different angle, because the fish won't be expecting to be pulled from the opposite direction. I think anybody else looking from another swim will probably thinking he's into a monster, but in this occasion the fish had shed the hook and I was stuck firmly into the roots of the lily pads at the base, which is the strongest part of the lily pad. One thing I did notice at Sam's, a lot of the jetties were in terrible condition. I don't know what's happened. I don't know whether, I don't think we've had I mean, we have had a bit of rain, but not enough to flood the lake and to cause that amount of damage to the jetties. So I don't know. I forgot to ask Mike when I saw him about the condition of the jetties. I should think at one point he'll have a working party down there, and they'll probably go around hopefully repairing them all. That's probably the answer.
Well done. It's called the lily pad.
Well, I managed to free up mine, but also find somebody else's as well. That was possibly what I was onto. So somebody else has obviously lost something in the pads. It's a lead for me and one bit of less tackle out of the lake. So we'll try again. Looks promising. Oh, just missed a screamer on the right hand rod. Just I got to it in time, and as luck had it, it ran away from the pads and not into the pads. So it took me out into open water, but it straight away as I struck, it sort of kind of splashed on the surface, and then it just shed the hook on the surface. So I don't think it was massive. I mean, it was a screaming run, but it wasn't. I don't think it was a massive fish. But rebaited again. But I tried something different. I tried the garlic boilies tipped with a white piece of imitation sweet corn, and the rod on the left is monster crab tipped with yellow imitation sweet corn. So I don't know if that white thing worked, or I mean, obviously something's happened from nothing. So anyway, I've rebaited, stuck it out again, stuck another bit of imitation sweet corn on, although I'm a bit limited. I've got imitation sweet corn, but it's the colours I'm limited on. So I think I've got more yellows than whites. So, and I didn't get that one back. So onwards and upwards. Just had some encouraging signs on the right hand rod. Just had a line bite on both rods actually. On the one I'm fishing just here, really, just off the end. There's like a bay that sweeps around here, and I'm fishing more or less in the middle of it. You just see a fish cruise through, but actually see the fish on the surface. And my other rod is over here somewhere, nowhere near the island. I've more success in open water here, down at Sam's, anywhere on this lake really. I find I've had better fish on open water, but just here where I've baited with birdseed, it's all fizzing. It has been fizzing, I don't know, can't really pick it up on this. That's the area that's been fizzing, which is encouraging because obviously they're on the. It's slightly clouded as well. It's not very deep here. It's only approximately 6 foot all round. So yeah, encouraging all round. Hopefully, something might happen. Here we go. This was another screaming run that again took me straight in the pads. I had a few of these during the course of the day. Gave it some stick. It just wasn't moving. Then all of a sudden something gave. you can feel that telltale thump thump as the lead starts to come through the pads. And then the inevitable.
Get away.
Just missed another one. Just missed another screaming take there. But didn't even connect with this one, it just took me straight under the pads, so you are sort of dicing with death really when you're fishing near the pads. It's to be expected. But I'm sure I'll connect with one sooner or later. So it seems to be working. It seems to be the tipped boilie and the birdseed. So, and it's definitely a bit of discoloration where I'm fishing, so they're definitely finding it. Yeah, just carry on. This was a belting run out in open water on the left hand rod. This was on the monster crab boilies. It was a screaming run. It took me straight out into open water, but it started to turn and then come back in again. That's why I'm like frantically reeling the reel to try and gain some line. What last thing I wanted was for it to go back in the pads again, where I'd lost previous fish before. Giving it some stick. I mean, I was probably giving it a bit more stick than I should have given it, but then again the rods are soft, so they look a bit more dramatic than they are. And then I proceeded to fanny about, decided whether to pass one rod under the other, but for some reason it wasn't going to work out. So I decided just to do the usual and just take that rod off the rod rest, dip it, so it gave me a bit of leeway on the line. I wasn't letting this one get the better of me in the pads. Excuse my French, but it was shit or bust on this. I've said it before in other videos that when you're playing fish off the jetties, it always pays to keep the rod out, because there have been times when people have lost fish literally under the legs of the jetties because the fish has decided to dive in between the leg, and once it's in there it's very hard to get them back again. It put up a great fight, this fish. As all fish really down at Sam's, they really do give a good account of themselves. thought it was going to go in then, but the drag of the net, just couldn't get it that time. Get in there. You know. Where the mat had been in the sun, I made sure before, it wasn't captured on film, but I made sure that was well wet, the mat, and cooled it down so it didn't burn the fish when I put it in. The scales had been pre-zeroed as well. The weigh sling was wet, and I'd pre-zeroed it off camera.
How much is it?
It's 9 9.14.
Yeah.
Just shy of £10.
Is that your biggest?
No.
Can you hold it so that I can take a selfie? And then take a picture.
Unfortunately, in all the confusion of me weighing the fish and returning it, never actually got any film of me holding the fish. So here's a little montage of photos. These are release photos, and then these are capture photos. 9/14 common carp. Moments after putting that fish back, I had a blistering run on I think it was the left hand rod, and took me straight out, but unfortunately I lost the fish, broke me off. Bloody hell, it's hot. I just checked on the weather. It's 79 degrees at the moment. Jesus. I mean, there's certain weather to go fishing in, and there's certain weather to avoid, and I think today would have been probably one to avoid, but I know tomorrow's going to rain, or it's supposed to rain, but I'm back at work tomorrow, so, and the 4 days I had off a shift, this was my last day shift, so 4 days off. So, and I thought, oh well, I'll go on the last day. All days have been equally hot. So, just one of them things really. But I don't know if the weather's, I think the weather's probably killed it today, but I mean, I've had that one common, sort of nearly £10, 9.14, but it's been okay, but it's really slowed up now. I'm not even getting really any line bites now. So, yeah, the rod's in a bit there. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to wind one in, and I'm probably going to stick on a stick mix on the monster crab one that I knocked up myself. Got nothing to lose because it's gone dead quiet. So I'm going to keep with the boilie with a tipped with the imitation sweet corn, and just stick a stick mix on, and see if that brings any luck. If it does, then I'll continue with that, but I'm running low on PVA string because I've been doing stringers, and I've got two types of PVA. One's number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is no good for what I'm using. It's so thin, the boilies are just sliding through when you put them on with the stringing needle. So I'm just gonna, I've used up all my number 2, so I'll have to get some more PVA string because I use a lot of that. I like doing stringers. Yeah, I'll do the stick mix. The other 2 have gone for a walk. I think they're a bit bored, but that's fishing for you, for non-fishermen. So yeah, there's a match on the other lake. They're catching a lot of small stuff, but yeah, so I'll do my stick mix and I'll get back to you. Well, it's the time. It is 3:45. It's starting to get a little bit more lively. There's more. It went from dead quiet to nothing at all. I put stick mixes on both rods, and nothing so far on the stick mixes, but the pads are starting to move again now. So it's getting towards that time in the afternoon where the lake tends to come alive again. A little lull, and then it comes alive again. So starting to get movement on the rod tips, the odd little line bite. So yeah, things might be looking up. Well, it's 4:45, 4:45. I just had a cracking run on the left-hand rod on the monster crab and stick mix, but I had it on for less than a minute. Felt good, felt alright. You never know with the fish down at Sam's. They're just you know, some of them can put up a massive fight, and others can be like bream, you know, sort of like, and then when you get them in, you're mildly surprised. But no, it was on. I thought it was well hooked because it was on for a while, and then bang, off it come, up come the lead and the boilie. So I got everything back, got me imitation sweet corn back, so I'll be able to use that again. But yeah, gutted. I thought, well, that'd be a nice another fish to round off the day. So I mean, you know, it's been an enjoyable day. It's been hot. It's been bloody hot. Too hot really for fishing. They had a match behind us on the top lake. I don't know what the winning weight was. I heard some guy say £11.4, but it's all tiddlers, you know, little silverfish. Yeah, so I said I'll give it another hour. I'll give it till 5:45, quarter to 5 now. I'll give it till 5:45, and then have a slow pack up, walk some stuff back to the car, leave the rods in to the death, and see what happens then. But other than that, it's been all right. But I don't think I'd bother again if it was going to be this hot. It's a bit of a dead duck really. So, but yep, a few people turning up now. They always fish the last few hours. So, but yeah, no, it's been nice. It's been a nice day. Well, it's 6:30. I'll call it a day now. We're all back to the car, all packed up. The car's all packed. Say hello. Yeah, it's been it's been enjoyable. It's been a frustratingly enjoyable day. So all I've had today is one fish, and we've all got a suntan. So burnt knees, yeah, burnt knees, burnt face, burnt arms. So yeah, it's been enjoyable, but one fish to show for it. So I won't bother coming again. I'll come here again. Obviously, this is one of my favourite fisheries. It's very good, but no good in the heat. Not unless you're surface fishing, and even surface fishing, I don't think you'd have much, because they're very picky. They're very picky fish. You see all the good ones on the top, but they're so picky, it's unbelievable. So I think surface fishing would be very frustrating here. But other than that, this has been Greybeard Fishing signing off. So hit the subscribe button if you've enjoyed the videos. If not, don't. But yeah, cheers, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.